Hi there, it's Nick here over at InvoPack, and today we're going to talk about Tournaire aluminium bottles. So we have some of our range here. So this is our 19mm, our 1.25 and our 32 litre. As you can see, we do a full range of sizes and all the sizes in between. Some slight differences on these bottles. So you'll see here, this smaller version has a slightly different cap. So on this one, it's non-tamper evident. So there's no tamper evident on this cap. It does have a plug. But on the larger bottles, what you'll see is you then get a plug with a ring pull, just like so, and then you get the tamper evident band on the caps. So a slight difference from the smaller sample size bottles, should we say, up to the more industrial kind of size bottles. All these are UN, so you can see here from the markings here, that's the UN embossing. That just tells us what's safe to go in here. These are mainly used for flavours and fragrances, but it's not the flavours you'd see in the shop. So it's the pre-shop flavours, is probably what I call them. So these are getting sold to kind of your food manufacturers. So they're concentrates, they're a bit more aggressive, more concentrated, therefore they need to go into UN packaging. You can maybe see as well from these, this one has a silvery top. This is a plain internal bottle, whereas on the larger bottle, you can see that it's a more gold colour. So the reason for that is obviously this is aluminium. So what we do is we give a bit of protection on some more water-based products, just so they don't go at the metal itself. Oops, pop that back. Again, another little feature of the larger sizes, you get a nice little handle, just to make handling a little bit easier. On these smaller sizes, obviously, you don't really require it, so it's not there. So a little round, who are Tournaire? So Tournaire are a manufacturer based in the south of France. They're in Grasse, so you may know that region for perfume. So most big perfume houses are all kind of based there, and that's why we have these bottles really. So Tournaire originally were glass makers, and then slowly got approached by these companies saying, look, we have an issue with kind of selling, with storing our products. What can you do? So they came up with these. So they're different to a standard bottle in there's no seam on them. So if you look around, there's no joining seam. So on a leaf-lid tin, you might see a little weld. On a bottle, you'll see almost just like a clear line. So these are basically where we weld the seam for the tin, and then for the bottles, it's where the mold comes together. So in case the plastic will be below the bottle, so you get these seams. Now, why seam's important? Well, if it's going to fail, it's going to fail on the seam. They're probably the biggest pain point we have, because it is an area where you're pushing together plastic, or you're trying to melt together metal basically. So it's an area of weakness that can crop up. So these bottles aren't welded. So how they're manufactured is they're actually punched. So we have a disc of aluminium, and what we do is basically have a big punch which pushes the bottle forward, and it punches the bottle out, giving us our bottle shape. And then they spin the tops on. So the difference between a Tournaire bottle is they also have this curl at the top, where they curl the top of the bottle over to hold the thread in place. This then gives you a nice sturdy base when you're capping the product. It's a little bit something kind of different, a little bit unique to these bottles. You don't really see it on anything else. That thread is pretty unique in its own way. So cap sizes. So on the larger bottles, so these ones, they're System Plus caps, and they come in a 32mm, a 46mm, and a 62mm. We then have these smaller caps. These are a 9M6, and they're just a small non-tamper evident cap with a little plug. Different to the plugs, these are HDPE, so they're high density polyethylene. So the ones on the small bottles are just a flat face, but then on the System Pluses you have a ring pull, just to make things a bit easier at that side, just to kind of get those out. So just a little bit more on the UN certification. So these bottles are UN with the plug and cap. So if you want the bottle for UN purposes, it has to have both the plug and the cap. If you try and bottle these with just the cap, they are not UN certified. It needs both parts of the closure to be certified. So if you are going to use them for UN, remember you need the plug and the cap.